New numbers are showing what Canadians think about the Liberal government's emergency spending. The new Nanos poll reveals more than three-quarters of Canadians surveyed are concerned about the federal deficit. A new season of CTV's Power Play launches today. Its host, Evan Sullivan, is joining me with more. Hey, good morning to you. Nice to see you.
Good darker morning, Lindsey.
Oh, yes, you're listening, aren't you? Well, it's starting to brighten up a little bit. Let's see if that's the case when we talk government. Government spending, obviously, on the minds of many Canadians. What can we expect from the throne speech?
Well, the throne speech is going to be the path to recovery, and the next election will likely be a referendum on COVID and the economic recovery. We're still in it. As you say, millions of people are at school, so there's the health element, and there's the economic element. And the throne speech, the signals are that Justin Trudeau is not going to start to deal with the $350 billion deficit, Linz. No, he is going to keep the stimulus coming, keep the support coming, and there's signals that it's going to be mixed with a, quote, green economic recovery, so investments in the so-called green economy. Now, we haven't seen the details, but politically this is important because the throne speech is really going to be Justin Trudeau's introduction to, look, if you want this government to stay for more than maybe the next year in a next possible election, this is our manual for the road to recovery. And the new Conservative leader, Erin O'Toole, who I should just say, Lindsey, about 2 minutes ago released his shadow cabinet. Erin O'Toole's got to introduce himself to Canadians, and he will make the election about who do Canadians trust to bring us out of the not just the deficits, but the economic recovery from COVID after we hope we get a vaccine soon.
How tough is this going to be for Erin O'Toole as he continues to introduce himself to many Canadians?
Well, he's got to decide what his ideas are. He put out a video on Labor Day yesterday saying he doesn't like bad trade deals like the one Canada did with the U.S., which was kind of an interesting thing. Are we really going to have a referendum on the new NAFTA deal? But this notion that he's trying to say that Justin Trudeau is not fit to be the government. Now, it's interesting today. He put out his shadow cabinet. Three things jump out. One, Pierre Poilievre, who's been the most vocal. He's the finance critic. He will be the person that will be the critic of the new finance minister, Chrystia Freeland. That'll be critical for the speech from the throne. Two, Pierre Poilievre and Michael Barrett. Those are the ethics, or rather, Mr. Barrett, the ethics critic. They want to bring back the committees to investigate the WE scandal. And here's a name that Canadians may know. Andrew Scheer, the former leader, is the shadow minister of infrastructure. So he'll be looking at Catherine McKenna, who's the minister, who will be also a very key part of that recovery. So a couple names here, and he's got to introduce himself and not just oppose, but propose what he would like to do. And it's a big challenge for him as well.
You mentioned We Charity, the investigations. Where are we at with that?
Well, the Conservatives and the NDP would like the committees to come back. They actually need unanimous consent to bring those back right now before Parliament comes back. That's not going to happen. And then the question is, how do they get those committees back? They will be back. There are new investigations into other potential ethics issues or lobbying issues. But the Conservatives and the NDP are not done investigating WE. So, well, Justin Trudeau prorogued Parliament. In other words, remember when he sort of canceled Parliament? It's back September 23rd. And at that moment, guess what? It's kind of like the sequel to those movies, the scary movies for the Liberals. The WE committees will come back and more people will be probed. And they're specifically asking about the Liberals' contention that it was just the bureaucrats that set this up. And the NDP and the Conservatives saying, no, no, we've got new documents that show the minister in charge, Bardish Chagger, she was the one who initiated. They say there'll be more hearings on WE, so that is not gone by a long shot.
Okay, speaking of sequels, the new season of Power Play begins today. Congrats on that. What can we expect?
Well, it's going to be just an incredibly busy sprint. Parliament comes back on the 23rd. There's a lot of ethics issues. Look, we're in the middle of a pandemic. This is probably the most serious time for the health and welfare of Canadians. The biggest economic crisis, the biggest health crisis we've ever faced, not only on a provincial, but on a federal level. So We'll have that. The new Conservative leader, Aaron O'Toole, will join us on the show tonight, Lindsey. So people will get a chance to see who he is. And of course, we got, I don't know if you heard about the U.S. election down south, 2 months away. So we got a lot going on.
Yeah, and it's dark here in Toronto outside right now. I see the sun shining on you. Evan Solomon, always great to see you. Thanks.
Thanks.
You can catch the series premiere of CTV's Power Play today at 5 and 8 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.